All right, so let's talk about the U.S. in World War I. And actually, we're going to begin with the causes of World War I. So we have four main causes. We have right here militarism, which is having a big military and basically being like, I have a big military. What do you have? We have imperialism, which is the different countries trying to get more land. Nationalism, evoking national pride in people. And then alliances. And well, I'll get back to alliances in just a second. So here's kind of the timeline of World War I, the outbreak of the war. On June 28th, 1914, we have the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. And that same day, Austria declares war on Serbia. Now, after Austria declares war on Serbia, Germany joins Austria. But France and Britain declare war on Austria and Germany because they are in alliance with Serbia. And eventually, Russia is able to mobilize itself and declares war on Austria as well. So now we have these two groups of people, two groups of countries that are at war against each other. And all this is due to the alliance system. If you guys will remember, so we have right here the Triple Entente, which is Russia, France, and Britain had an alliance. And they also had an alliance here with Serbia. And then we have Austria-Hungary, Germany, and Italy. These three countries had an alliance beforehand. However, Italy is not going to enter the war right away. They will actually enter later. And on the other side is the German and Austria-Hungary war. They're going to enter on the alliance side with Russia, France, Great Britain, and eventually the United States. Then we have the Ottoman Empire that's going to join later in on Germany, Austria-Hungary. There's a lot of stuff that's going on here, a lot of politics, a lot of war over territory. People really want certain ports. People want trade routes, all of these things. So this is one of the reasons why all of a sudden the Archduke of Austria-Hungary right here got shot and by a Serbian. And so then everyone kind of started pointing fingers at each other. I kind of imagine it like one of the scenes in Pirates of the Caribbean where all of a sudden everyone's pointing guns at each other and they're trying to figure out what's going on. So that's basically what it is. Now, here we have the two sets of powers. We have the Allied powers, which includes Serbia, France, Great Britain, Russia, Italy, and the US, who will join later, as we'll learn today. We also have the Central powers, which are Germany, Austria, or the Austro-Hungarian Empire, the Ottoman Empire, who will also join later, and the Balkans, which are right here, Bulgaria and the other countries around Bulgaria. There is a quote I wanted you guys to hear by Ernest Hemingway, which is him. He is the guy who wrote The Raven, Si no me equivoco, and The Old Man and the Sea. He was a very, very famous author. He said, whoever wins a war will never stop fighting. So remember that as we talk about, the Allied powers and the Central powers, one of these was better than the other. And also realizing that in just a few years, World War II is going to break out. So really this war is kind of it's kind of the starting point to World War I. Okay, so the U.S., like I said, they did not join the war right away, but they did support the Allied forces, Great Britain, France, those were the main ones, Serbia at the time, by lending a lot of money. So how they did was this thing called bonds, where people would buy these bonds, which was kind of like putting money in the stock market kind of thing, like a savings, giving money to the government with the promise that later on they could take that money back out, and hopefully it would have gained interest. So here's some of these. Propaganda became really popular. As you can see here, this is the shield of the United States. You can see that on the $1 bill. And basically, they're just really encouraging people to buy these bonds so that the U.S. could support these other countries during the beginning of the World War. And then finally, for reasons that you will listen or watch in the next video, the United States decided to join the army, and this was one of the first drafts in history where they forced eligible young men to sign up for the army. Stop sharing, and we are done. There we go.